Hi, everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Romance Class podcast. Romance Class is a community of Filipino authors of romance in English. Since 2013, our community has helped over 80 authors publish over 100 books. We also have a podcast, which is what you're watching to or listening to right now, which has been a space for us to explore more of what we can do with the books and what we can discuss with the authors. This podcast is produced by Mina Villas-Guerra and Tanya Arpa and is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. My name is Mina Villas-Guerra and I will be hosting the episode today. We are now on season 4 of the Romance Class podcast and this is our season premiere. We want to focus more on discussions this season with Romance Class authors and what we like to write and read and watch. This episode, we will be speaking to 7 authors who are part of the Romance Class Tropetastic Kindness Bundle, an anthology of 15 romance stories available for pre-order now at kilig.pub/tropetastic. It releases on February 14, Valentine's Day, 9 a.m. Philippine time. Before we go and talk to the authors, I would like to mention that this is the time to subscribe to the podcast if you haven't yet. So we have links where you can subscribe and listen to the podcast through the podcatcher of your choice. We have Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher, and a feed. And let's begin. So we have batches of authors who wrote the stories, and we will talk about their stories today. May we have our first batch? Let's bring in Don Lanuza and Carla de Guzman. Hi, Don. Hi, Carla.
Hey.
Hi, Nina. Hi, Carla.
So
Hey
this,
guys.
so this is how it will work. We wrote apparently an
Allegedly.
anthology of short stories. We kind of came together in December during almost a year of quarantine and lockdown, and uh, we Ansela Corsino, who's an author who helped us organize a charity bundle that we did for Taal last year, suggested let's do something new because there's always something to be raising funds for. And we came up together with this project. So the idea for the theme for the anthology, which is a shared setting for all the stories, actually came from Carla. And
Apparently.
we
As I do not
discovered,
recall.
and the idea for assigning tropes by fate or roulette came from Dawn. So we will be talking to Dawn and Carla and also several other authors, not just about the anthology as a whole, but their stories as well. How about let's start with Dawn?
Okay, introducing myself. Hi, everyone. I'm Don Lanusa. I write romance, young adult fiction, and poetry. For this anthology, my story is called Noted. My trope, actually, the trope that was provided for me by Faith was single parents, but I swapped that to there's only one bed, and it's heat level 0, kahit may bed.
How?
You'll find out. Yeah.
So what was
Uh,
about what was happening with your original trope? Why did you want to swap it?
I actually was hoping for like secret table because we had like a lot.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah, everyone wanted the secret table trope. We had like I think 13 tropes there with the original group of people who said yes to the bundle. So we were in a call like this, not live. So we were like looking for tropes. The single parent trope wasn't wrecked by me, but I know a lot of people like love that trope as well. But I just felt like I'm not ready for the trope yet. Not ready. Hindi naman ako magkakaanak nun, di ba? But yeah, but I did wait for a couple of weeks to see if I could actually do it. So I did marinate with the trope, and then eventually I saw someone swapping. So I said, "Oh, we can do this." Yes, because at first we thought we had to do like suhol ganyan under the table. Can you
Under the
can
table dealing.
under the table deals? Can you swap? But I know like everyone wanted like their original trope. So I was like, maybe I'm stuck with the single parent trope. Maybe I can do this. And then I saw someone swap and was like, oh my god, yes, this is my chance. So I swapped it really quick, and then I got There's Only One Bed, which is kind of like one of my favorite tropes as well. If you know the movie it happened one night. I think with yeah, so it was kind of like an old movie. So that's also There's Only One Bed. So I thought, oh yeah, I think I can work with this. And the idea was there right away. So yeah, it's better. The single parent, I did like think of something, but I wasn't like I don't know how to do it yet. So it wasn't meant to be. But I'm so happy that somebody got that trope anyway.
Yes, we'll be talking to the person who got that trope today also. Thank you, Don. Carla, how about you? Your trope, your story, any secrets to be shared?
Mm, okay, so my trope. Hi, my name is Carla de Guzman. I'm a romance author from the Philippines, and the trope that I got was forced proximity. Destiny has chosen this to be my trope, and I think like from the moment that I got the trope from the roulette, I thought, okay, we can do this. You can do something with this. And I think, and the first thing that popped into my head was the scene from You've Got Mail where Tom Hanks and his girlfriend at the time in the movie, they get stuck in an elevator, and um, there are other characters there, and they're all talking about, when I get out of this elevator, I want to do this, I want to do that. And that was kind of my starting point for the forced proximity story. So, Congrats You're in Love is the story I wrote. Guys, it's heat level 1? Are you surprised? Because I am. um, Actually, technically, when I first submitted it, I thought it was heat level 0 because they don't actually do anything. Like, well, they do something, but
Something.
some
They
things. They
do
do some
something.
things on page, but then most of it is like not there. But then I think you have to read the story to understand why it's heat level 1. But actually, nothing happens on page or off the page. But anyway, your Congrats You're in Love is about roommates, Zach and Cami, and they get stuck in an elevator together. But which is the worst thing ever for Cami because because of her work, she realized something about Zach, and she doesn't want to tell him. So yeah, it's agonizing to be in a small space with someone, especially when we haven't quite decided yet how you feel about them. So yun. So that's my story from Heat Level 0 na promote to level 1. I know, right?
So I was the one who promoted it to hit level 1, but I was thinking about it for a long time because it seemed like not exactly a 0. So,
Yeah, because they do some things in the elevator,
and then
just not everything.
I felt that it was just a function of the story ending when it did. Uh, but you can assume that something happened. So,
Yeah. The
might as
original plan
well.
really was they would move on somewhere else and then do it. But then I thought, no, 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 no. Let's end it where it ends. So, yeah, that's why I don't think of it as a demotion naman. It's normal. Heat level 3 is there to stay naman for me. It'll come back. So
For a
yeah,
longer work.
for a longer work. Ay, thanks, Tara.
Thank you. So we're seeing the comments. Hello, friends,
Hey,
in the comments.
friends, on the
Um,
comment section.
so we're giving every author a chance to talk about their story individually in these batches. But later, at the end of everything, we will answer your questions. We will discuss everything. So thank you so much for joining us today. And this will be part of the podcast also, wherever you subscribe to the podcast. So that's it for now for Dawn and Carla. See you again later. So before we call on the next batch, I just like to mention that we have a newsletter, an email newsletter. So uh, we are on romancepodcast.com/kilig. And if you prefer to receive updates on the podcast through email, uh, then please subscribe and you will get notifications when we're about to go live because we are seriously doing this podcast for more regularly. We have a lot of things lined up and we want to discuss our books and the themes around our books a lot more. So thank you, Don. Thank you, Carla. Next up, let's have authors Suzette de Borja, Georgette Gonzalez, and Angel C. Aquino. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Good
So,
evening from where I am. Hi.
yes.
Early
So
morning pala. Early morning na.
when the round gets to you, please definitely introduce yourself and mention where you are, because exciting. How about let's start with Georgette? Hi.
Hi. So for those listening and for those online with us watching via live stream, I'm Georgette Gonzalez, Filipino author of romance. I also write crime fiction every now and then. Um, I started writing in Tagalog for my special Valentine. So, ayun. First time ko to mag-podcast with everybody. So,
Yay.
yay!
Yay.
Glad you could make it. So please tell us
Yay!
your trope and your story.
Okay. So the roulette assigned me to what was the first sleeps with everyone but you. So so parang patama ba to sa akin? Hello. So masyado akong hurt ganyan. Tapos I was thinking about how am I gonna do this? I was talking to Layla. Parang we thrashed out a few ideas. And then I saw the single parent trope waiting there and I'm like, Mina, can I have that instead? So she just said, yeah, but it's a spare thing. It's a spare trope, so you can get it if you want to. So di sige. Kasi I have a better idea of dealing with a single parent, I guess. So there, I kept speaking with Layla about how things are. She being a single parent herself, what the problems could arise from introducing an outsider to yung single parent family. Like, tapos I have a best friend who's also a single mom, but contrary to yung probably the experience of Layla, my friend's son never got to know his father. So may ibang dynamics, I guess, when the children know their father and when they don't know one parent. So I guess that's where it came from, and it developed from there. I got the name. Ang interesting because I got the name of my love interest from one of our vendors. I work as an accounts payable clerk for freight company here. So I get to meet a lot of people on email ganyan. So yung name niya, it stuck with me because it's so bagay sa LI. His name was Juan Pablo Hernandez Munoz. O, di ba? So parang ako, shit, gagamitin ko tong pangalan one of these days. So I gave it, I got the name there. So yun, heat level 0 for now. Pero let's see kapag binuo ko na yung story.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Georgette. Next up, Angel.
Hey, thanks, Mina. Hi, everyone. I'm Angel C. Aquino. I'm a freelance writer and editor and also a romance author. So, my story is entitled Home at Last, and the trope that I got is the protector. So, yeah, that was the original trope that I got assigned via the Ruleta. And I thought, okay, yeah, I could work with this. And so my story, the character, the main character, her name's Cherry Ronilio. She's a news anchor. Trivia, she is actually a character in my upcoming book, which is YA Feels Like Home, which is going to be part of the RomanceClass Flickr. And well, I was supposed to be editing that last year, and I was hoping it would come out last year, but as we all know, last year was very tumultuous and challenging year. So it wasn't a good writing year for me. And when this opportunity came up to write a short story, I thought, okay, I think this is such a nice way to get the creative juices flowing again. And sure enough, it did, because when I was brainstorming about the characters or who I wanted to write a story about, then I thought, hey, I can work with this character. She's a minor character in the novel, and I thought I wanted to make a story for her. So Cherry is a popular news anchor, and she happens to have a stalker ex-boyfriend that she has to deal with, and luckily she has a good friend who happens to be her crush, Rafi, who kind of protects her. So, but at the same time, she is also a protector in her own right, because of her job. So yeah, so that's the trope that I played with, and yeah, hope you like the story.
Thank you, Angel. Next up, Suzette.
Hi everyone, I'm Suzette de Borja and I write romance and I've been part of the romance community since 2014. My origin origin story. Okay, so for this anthology, the Ruleta gave me the trope locked out of the apartment. So I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't too keen on that trope at the start, but I decided to stick with it and challenge myself. So it's about Nina, who is an emergency medicine doctor in training, and she's had a rough day at work, and she comes home and she finds out that she left her key at the hospital, and she has a meltdown. So and then in comes striding down the corridor is her neighbor Sam, who she friend zoned a week ago. So Sam Sam offers refuge, and so it's awkward because yeah, she friend zoned him a week ago. So and this one actually it's heat level 0. Shocker.
Perfect.
And actually, I didn't have enough. I mean, I didn't have enough time, I think, to research about other professions. So I decided to make it about a doctor, and then for the school teacher, yeah, it's based on some of the teachers of my daughter in her school. So yeah, that's it. I hope you like it.
Thank you, Suzette. So yeah, that's funny reactions actually to the heat levels because we put up the table of contents with chart descriptions and heat levels. So it's funny how people have been reacting to the heat levels that they're seeing in the table of contents, and what might be surprises is the heat levels of from certain authors. Thank you for that. Yes, more Dr. Romance. There are a few, right? In in there are a few Dr. Romance and uh, uh, several teacher characters in the anthology. It just turned out that way, huh? Interesting. Were you consulting each other? I noticed some of the stories had characters or settings that were similar. Were you actually consulting other people also writing stories?
I spoke with Suzette kasi I saw in our shared file that her LI was a teacher of an international school, and my MC is a school nurse. So parang naghanap ako using the map. I was trying to look for a school that's near where our condo peg the area is. And then I was talking to her and it's like, is that the same school that my school nurse works at? And she says, pwede naman. So let's think about it. Because we were looking at the map and we were looking at what's the original name of the school is Reedley International School. So let's say let's think about something else, blah blah blah. So but hindi kami nag-usap about if they were gonna meet or anything, but it's the same school.
I think that's what some people will pick up on when they read that they might actually think that some of these people are are office mates or actually work together. MCU is shaking. Thank you, Kat. Yeah, so thank you. So that was our next batch of authors. Thank you so much. They'll be back later. Thank you for talking about your stories and your tropes. So everyone at the comments, if you have questions and comments for the authors, just leave them there. We'll get back to that and have everybody back on later. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Thank you.
next up, we will tell you how to subscribe to the podcast. So a thing that we're trying to do is make the podcast available in more platforms. We are usually in podcatchers that you subscribe to, but now we are on YouTube and Twitch, and also the Facebook page at Romance Class Books. So what you can do if you're on YouTube is to head on over to kilig.pub/YouTube and then click subscribe. And you can see the other content that we've created as well. Fun stuff that we've done. We have Rachel a lot. And if you hit the bell, you will actually get notified when we have something new and when we go live, which is a thing we're doing. Amazing. So for scheduled live streams, you can also choose to be reminded by hitting set reminder on the video. So we will have, when we have something live, we will put up a premiere video and you can hit set reminder on that. Okay, next up, our next group of authors, we have Jay, Tria, and Kat Briones.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So
Hello.
I'm seeing a guest in Jay's video. So it's
Yes.
Jay and
It's me and Luke.
and the guest.
I brought a bad boy.
Plushy Luke.
Plushy Luke. Rockstar Luke.
Thank you
And
for bringing a friend
Santol Luke.
to the podcast.
Yes. He's happy to be
So,
here with his pants on.
so let's have each of you introduce yourselves, talk about your trope and your story, and any secrets you can share about the story. How about let's start with Jay?
Hello, I'm Jay. I'm an author of romance. I've written YA before, but mostly it's new adult and adult in the past few books. So my trope, according to the Roletta, was actually enemies to lovers, also known as the Six de las Reyes special, which is fine and it's fun when I was actually able to get a few. Six is alive. She's alive there somewhere. So hi Six. And anyway, it's actually a fun trope, and I enjoy reading it. And I was able to get a few thousand words out, but I also felt like I wasn't going to make it to the fun line. So I was just whining about it in the group chat with the mommies in Agailanera and Karen Santillan and Ines Bautista Yao, the last two of which are also part of this bundle. And Ines just says, I have siblings, best friend, do you want to swap? And I know we were all thinking about trope swap drama, like some bribery and hard negotiation, but none of that happened. It's just really Ines being nice and sweet and just throwing it out and me just grabbing onto that as a lifeline. And yeah, so I worked with that. It was kind of a subtrope to friends to lovers, which is where I'm at right now. So that went well for me. The story is called You Belong With Me, and I also sang the song in my head when I was writing the words down was not necessarily a reference. It's about Mira, who has worked in Dubai abroad for most of her adult life and has come back to the Philippines and is kind of retired at the moment. Must be nice, sana all. And she she has been resting up in Bataan with the parents, and for the night she had to go to the city, and she was supposed to crash with her brother, her kuya. But for some reason, the kuya gave her the condo address of Johan, who is the kuya's best friend, somebody that she's known for a long time and somebody she's had feelings for the longest time. And yeah, so my mutual emotions that never actually came into fruition. Things didn't really line up for them. And so in one night and a day, things might just change. So it's heat level 3, and they are in their 30s. So older than us because we're all 25.
Thank you, Jay. Kat, how about you?
Hi, hello. My name is Kat Briones. I'm also a Filipino author. I write both young adult and new adult. My tropetastic story is titled Two Doors Down. The trope assigned to me was mail or parcel delivered by mistake, and I assigned by the ruleta. That was I did heat level 0. Ayun, I was planning I was planning a higher heat level pero hindi pa marunong. more research needed. So ayun. So this features the LI is a character from my other book, Chasing Mr. Prefect, Patsy, Patricia. So my story starts with the MC, a photographer named Luigi. He lives in 11A. He comes home from a 3-week work trip, and when he checks his mail, there's something that doesn't belong to him. Tapos, ayun, he checks with reception and he finds out it belongs to the tenant from 11K, which is Patricia. Ayun. So it's I mostly consulted Jay kasi college professor. Ayun. Tapos, yeah, ayun. I hope you guys will like the story then.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much. So those are the authors that we have right now. We will create more opportunities to speak to more authors who are part of the anthology, and just down the line through the season, we'll talk to more authors and geek out about these things in our books or that inspire romance in and what we write about. So thank you, Jay and Kat. We'll have you back later. Thank you. So before we have everyone back on again, just a few things. So uh, we've mentioned how you can subscribe to the podcast. So definitely subscribe. You can subscribe now on YouTube and Twitch, and follow Romance Class Books on Facebook, the page. The podcast will be live there also. You can subscribe through email and get notified when we're about to have a new episode. And please tell your friends to subscribe as well. So please share the link. Please share the episode today. And if your friend is into Spotify or Apple or Google or Stitcher or a feed for their podcast, please share the link for them. Thank you so much. We have the pre-order up on kilig.pub/tropetastic. It's been up since February 10. And we have, I was asked for an update. We have $676.50 right now as pre-orders. So we were getting questions actually if we can if the bundle can be given away as a gift, and the answer is yes. It can be gifted, but not while it's on pre-order. When the bundle goes live on Valentine's Day, 9 a.m. Philippine time, and everyone receives their pre-ordered book, you can now also gift that to somebody else. You can give the donation on behalf of someone and input their email address, so they will receive the book instead of you. So thank you so much to the people who are asking about that and suggesting it. We will have more information about the organizations that we are giving the funds to. We were very surprised about the very positive reaction to the pre-order. So we put together beneficiaries, three beneficiaries now, and we will be sending information to the people who pre-ordered and bought. So thank you so much. That has been the podcast episode, our season premiere for the Romance Class podcast. We are still here though, and we will answer questions from the comments right now. And please don't forget to subscribe, and please tweet about not just the bundle but also the podcast. Thank you so much. So authors, can we have the authors back up? Hi everyone.
Hi!
Dami
Nina,
natin.
I
It's
realized
a
we
Hello
party.
haven't
again.
talked about your story yet.
Yay!
Oh my
Oo nga.
Your
god.
story!
Yeah, you should tell
Your
us what
turn.
your story is about.
Host lang pala ako. Oh. Okay. Sige, oo nga. Sige, I'll answer. My name is Mina V.S. Guerra. And syempre, I wanted to answer kagad the question that came in, but sige, let me delay that. By my story is called Pleasure to Meet You. It's about the trope I got was minor celebrity. So the funny thing is, to answer a question that was sent in earlier, like how did we come up with the tropes? This is the answer. It's connected to my story. We were all in a call, and we knew how many people were participating. And what we did was we collected tropes. Like we threw tropes, it's and into a list, and we were just naming tropes we wanted to see, and it had to be the exact number of authors plus one. So I was the person who actually yelled out minor celebrity to be added to the list. So the point of that trope was it should be a celebrity but not like a super celebrity. It's just someone very specifically famous for one thing, but a stranger pretty much to everyone else. So I ended up getting the trope that I suggested, which is funny because it's actually it was funny coming up with it. Because so what I did was I made a story about a girl who joins a as a favor to her sister, she joins an episode of a dating show on TV, and the guy that she set up with is like her favorite YouTuber. Uh, and but it's a very specific ASMR pottery kind of YouTube channel, so nobody actually knows his face. But she recognizes his hands. She recognizes him from from here, and she recognizes the shelf, the like essentially the background of his apartment and his hands. And so so that's how it starts, and that's what the story's about. And it's Heat Double C, so haha. not know not knowing the face apparently doesn't matter as much in my story. So yeah, so hello everyone.
Hello. I just want to say that the way everyone reacted when you said she recognized him by hands. Like,
Everybody went,
everybody knew.
Oh, everybody understood the implications of that immediately.
Ayan, so she understands, she recognizes his hands and his like collarbones. And
important body parts, though.
yeah, so it's possible. I think it's entirely possible for that to happen. Anyway, okay. So my story is called Pleasure to Meet You. Um okay, so we have questions. So I answered the question about how the church came about. So related to that, since there are actually some authors who weren't able to submit their story by the deadline. So what that means is there are tropes that we haven't seen. It's not in the we don't have it in the anthology. Some tropes that we suggested and want to see. But I told the authors that please continue. If you want to continue with your story, please continue, and then just release it however you want. Definitely, we want our secret table.
Yes.
We want
Yes, please.
We just really wanted the secret table.
I think we all wanted to get the secret shovel, though.
Yeah, the trope that everyone was fighting for.
Maybe that's the next anthology, secret
the
shovel.
next anthology.
Everyone's a secret
Everyone's
story.
secret shovel. Everyone doing secret shovel, though.
Kawawa naman tayo.
Everyone's rich.
Next question. Hi. Any chance for Prince? So it's actually really thick. It's a really thick
She's
book.
sick.
She's real sick though.
That's
what
she
she
said.
said.
Yeah. So I thank you for asking and requesting. I'll definitely explore it. I was surprised by the word count. So, the word count is actually 100 to over 120,000 words. So
Oh my
Oh my
god.
god.
that's easy.
A lot of words.
That's like 3 or 4 regular romance class novellas, but one book. So I'll definitely see what we can do about that and cost it out. But
We'll
it
have
was
to
a
make it
surprise.
dictionary tiny.
Yeah.
The
Or
font
like
like dictionary tiny.
like a zine type na thin lang. Anyway,
Or
we'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out.
Our,
Exactly. So,
our initial plan was to write 5K up, and everybody went up.
Went up. Everybody overachieved.
Yeah. Who knew?
I did not overachieve. I met the minimum.
Me too.
And then I said I'm out.
But yeah, I think Mina, you were one of the first ones to finish.
Yeah.
Yes, because
That
I
was-
said I was just watching my word count and my
And then
required
done.
elements.
Same.
And then I'm out. But I think yeah, that's what's really cool about some of the stories. I think some of you, because I read it. Spoiler, I read all of the stories. I think I think some really had fun. I mean, most of us really had fun with it. Some are Okay.
I mean, yes.
some some authors, I feel that some authors use the space to sort of expand on characters that they already had and wanted to do more with. I think some use the prompt to sort of get a new story going, because some I actually a lot of submissions had the end at the end of the submission, but some specifically said not the end, or asked for the end to be removed because they didn't they feel that they were going to explore this more. So I think it became a fun exercise for people. So some of us just did the minimum, but for those of
Theme
you
of
who went
2020.
That's what you do in a panini.
True that.
but for those of you who went extra and really used the exercise to explore, then great. I'm gonna pick up this question. What was the most challenging thing about writing your trope? Yes.
Teacher,
Yes.
Everybody look down. No one will answer.
Luke, answer the question.
Sige, ako muna. Me muna.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Georgette.
The challenge with me is more the circumstance than the delving into the topic. I live with my parents here, and this house is a one-bedroom house. And with the pandemic going, there is no chance for me to go out and be by myself. Kasi nga, wala kang tatambayan, walang coffee shop. And then, I can't stay up late at night because I have work in the morning, as in really, really early. So that's the challenge for me, is really to find the space and the time when to write. So mostly, I rushed into writing only on weekends kasi weekdays are really wala. They're booked. And then when I get home naman from work, I just want to sit down and stare at nothing and just do nothing because I'm tired. So yon. Next.
me.
I
I have
have
an
I
answer.
have Do you have ano?
Carla was like,
Sige. Yes. Yes, Carla.
Classic, maraming kapatid.
me, 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 me.
Yes, Carla. What was the most challenging thing about writing your trope?
Okay, kasi one would think forced proximity would be super easy, but how forced would you like this proximity to be?
Gano'n ka
Parang,
close?
my original plan was they were just going to be roommates. But then I said, no, they have to be like more uncomfortably close to each other. So elevator. And I think that's also why I didn't do heat level 3 as I had originally planned. Because, I'm wild, charm, but I'm not wild enough for like elevator sex.
Because CCTV, although it could be conveniently,
So
out
Not
of order.
available at the time.
and my
Maybe
LI
somebody pressed on it.
who is also a teacher dun sa international school.
Saan ba yung school na yan? Maka-enroll na.
Decided
Good job,
separately from
HR.
everyone else. Na,
Good job,
may
H.
international school teacher din siya.
May I teach there.
Ngayon, so parang, okay, kaya ba niya physically to do it in an elevator? Maybe not. So, next time na lang yung elevator sex.
Yes.
So, yun.
Ako, for me, not really challenging, but medyo naging concern for me if I'm doing more than one of the tropes. Kasi parang nag-cross over. Like, I also had like best friend's sibling in a way. So parang nag-cross over kami ni Jay. And then, of course, parang yung ganun lang na parang, I betted my story kay KB. Tapos apparently si Jay din pala kay KB. I didn't get to read this si Jay's kasi hindi kami sabay yun natapos. Tapos so parang tinanong ko si KB, masyado ba kaming pareho ni Jay? Kasi mamaya, masyadong close. So sabi niya, hindi naman. So that's good. Pero yun lang, parang medyo naging worry lang ako nung na parang, baka nag-overstep na ako sa other tropes. Kasi nga parang I had to make it work na there's only one bed. Kasi the story was, someone was sleeping over the house then without her knowing. I couldn't let it be naman a stranger lang naman talaga. Sobra naman yung security ng St. Tropez. So she had to know him somehow for her to let him stay there for a few nights. So I decided na yun. May relationship naman sila in a way. Yun, for them to share a bed.
I think that's something that you pick up on when you read that the assigned trope is like the main prompt, but there are going to be several other tropes there to get it going. Because that's what I experienced then, like yung so it looks like the prompt is minor celebrity, but it's also one night stand. It's a bunch of things.
Crossover.
Yeah.
It's a good problem.
Depending on how you want it to go.
So it's really tropetastic.
Yes.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
So yeah, I can go next.
Yes.
Well, for me, I think because since my trope was the protector, the challenge was how to make my main character like not a damsel in distress, but still be protected by the guy, or like I was just trying to think, okay, can she protect him too, or can she protect somebody else? Can she be the protector, or so it was just like those things, like how to make the trope not too cliche, or like something a little bit different than what the protector, because when you think of protector, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, like, oh, knight in shining armor. But like, so I just wanted to kind of put a twist on it a little bit, and hopefully sana na-achieve, but we'll see.
Because it seems like in your story, in terms of the power relationship, she does have, like, she has more of a reputation and stature than the love interest, but he does what he can to to also be a protector. So yeah. Anyone else have a story on difficulties?
Well, for me, I only worried about what Dawn was worrying about because she was worrying about it. So she told me, Bet KB read our stories and there's okay, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just gonna finish this and just lean into it. And basically, my hardship with the trope ended when I swapped it. But the struggle, similarly with Jeff, is just finding the time and energy to push through with it. And it helped to be accountability buddies with Kat. So we would set aside certain days to, and what we would do is we would watch 2 episodes of a K-drama. So the reward came first. And then we would have a writing sprint for an hour for 15 minutes each. And then that helped because it was time that we set aside to actually work on the thing and get it done. And we had a deadline that's earlier than the fun line. So we had time to have people beta and freak out.
Oh my.
Freak out about it before the actual submission date. So that helped.
So yun pa isang kulang where I am. So, di ba, baligtad tayo ng oras. So even if I wanted to have a writing buddy, tulog na kayo by the time I'm awake. Diba? So parang, paano? How am I gonna do this? Every time I wanted to discuss something, sinong ka-discuss ko? Kasi tulog pa kayo. Ako gising na. And then by the time na okay na kayo, ako naman yung patulog. So, okay, so whatever. Si Carla was there. Thanks, Carla. I love you.
Stars. Love you too, girl.
Tapos, super Suzette. And then, yun, si Layla, I'd leave messages for her and then she'd get back to me when she gets the chance. So okay lang. Ang hirap lang talaga ng oras.
I think may
I
window of about 3 hours in the
yeah.
afternoon na nag-aano yung time natin. Kasi that's when we usually chat. Mga lunchtime, ganun.
Lunchtime nyo.
Namin, yeah.
Oo.
Please kahit konti, merong
I see a question about I see a question that we can answer. Is the setting pre-pandemic? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, it is. We
But
are
Not a lot of
living-
people would kiss.
Yeah. Yes.
Truly.
we
But
are
yeah.
still living. The book lives in a pre-COVID world where all these tropes can
Yeah.
still happen.
It can happen
In
easily.
San Tropez Court, in case hindi na.
The pandemic did not break out. It's in a
No,
bubble.
It's so
In
yes,
the
it's
special time before
pre-pandemic.
the pandemic.
I think eventually we'll figure out how to incorporate this time in our books, but not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That day
Not
and
right
that
now.
day.
Don't
Not
start
today.
out.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, KB.
Thank you.
We're still living in it.
Hi, Kaylee.
Like
Thank
literally
you.
the calendar I used was 2019 when I was
Alternate 20.
planning the dates.
Yeah, so uh it's not just an alternate, it's not exactly an alternate 2020, it's more of like 2019
Before everything
That's
happened.
exactly what it
before
is.
everything. It's fine. Yeah. And so I have a comment related to what Georgette said. So we have some authors who are actually not in Manila. And not just not in Manila, but not in the Philippines. So I'm so glad that we had Georgette, who's in California, Kat, who's in Australia, and Chris Mariano, who's in Alaska, to actually participate in the anthology. So yung question ko for you, what was it like writing things set in Manila? Like did because it's been years since you've lived in Manila. How did it feel? Did it feel like was it easy, or did you have to reorient yourselves? How about Kat?
Ayun. Ano naman, saglit pa lang ako here, so I feel like I'm still familiar with the things. Although I'm not used to being in. I'm a South girl, so I'm like Ortigas. Paano liliko? Saan? So I'm like, sa may red light, ayan, ganyan. But it was okay kasi that was in the end. So I just made it short, so para hindi halata. But yeah. But yeah, no difficulties naman other than that. Ayun.
Ako, it wasn't really difficult. Although before ako tumira dito sa States, I was living outside of Manila already. So parang may disconnect na rin somewhat. But hindi naman masyadong nag-ikot yung characters ko. So they stayed basically in just the same places. So there's not much to worry about when it comes to orienting myself with the place. And there's Google Maps. Google Maps is my friend.
So we had so not just Google Maps, so we actually had
A floor plan. Oh,
and
yes.
the layout and
Guards.
We had to stop Arky from making a scale model.
Yeah.
She was probably about to make her students make a scale model. That would have been nice.
CP Santi, one of the authors, is an architect, and she volunteered the information. She was like, "We need a floor plan."
It's helpful.
Yeah, that
Because-
was super helpful.
Because there was a question about where the sun sets and where
Yeah.
it
Yes.
rises. So
From Dockless.
yeah.
Yun, Kat's asking if there's a rooftop garden. Sorry, I don't remember if there's a rooftop garden.
I also,
But
yeah.
I
don't
didn't
think
Parang,
use
I
it.
did, I
parang
did use
wala.
it.
Wala.
I
Nobody
don't
went
think
up
so.
there.
Nobody went. The farther they went was the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nasira kasi
Into
yung
Adjumart.
elevator.
Nasira.
And
Oh,
Adjumart.
nasira. Everybody loves Adjumart though.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Adjumart's the best place.
Adjumart's so helpful.
I actually experienced also writing. So, okay, is there a point that the characters from other stories meet? Parang interconnected stories po that happen at the same time. So what I wanted to say to that is more of a setting. So I wrote something set in the gazebo area, and then I was very safe about how I described it because I didn't want to mess with anyone else's story. I wanted mine to be as contained as possible. And then another story, I think Angeli Domato's story, had more of the gazebo area, and I really appreciated it because it suddenly made my scene better in retrospect. Like when you read the description of the gazebo area in her story, it makes mine nicer because because now you can imagine a nicer gazebo area retroactively in my story. So thank you so much.
Collaboration.
Yes,
And
that's what that's what it does. So that's but I tried not to use uh other characters and other but the others did. So please
Yeah.
mention your common characters.
Doc, I will volunteer Doc Leslie's book, story, because I read hers, and there is a part there in her story that where there's a game that the tenants were, yeah, the tenants were part, Doc Les, and then your characters, Suzette's characters were mentioned, and then also mine were mentioned. So that was pretty cool.
Oh my god.
Yes, that's right. There's uh
Doc Suzette, it's a surprise. Surprise.
I'm shocked.
did you not know that? Did you not know that you know that
Oh,
now?
I knew.
Okay. No, but
You were shocked into remembering.
and the cool thing about that also is okay, the anthology is actually ordered just by who submitted. In order of submission,
I was gonna
Like
ask
a
about that.
teacher.
yeah, it's just ordered the way that it appears in the bundle in the file is the order of when it was submitted. And
Rough stab.
and the cool thing I think was by the time that I had read Doc Leslie's story, which incorporates characters from the other stories, I had read those characters already. So that was
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
That is a cool coincidence. If you happen to read in order of the book, but if you hop around and read by trope, it's okay then. Or read by heat level, it's okay. It's okay. It's
Heat level
the other
priority.
characters.
I understand.
Okay, we're not sharing the plan for the condo because it's based on another real
Actually.
condo. Yeah.
We didn't have time to have Arki make one from scratch. She might charge
So
us
it's
for
not
it.
exactly from scratch, but she modified it uh very specifically because we said we wanted certain things there. Uh we wanted X number of units, and then she planned it out so we knew we could pick if our characters live in a studio or a one bedroom or
Yes.
yeah, and we knew who our neighbors were. That was cool. Yeah. So but I don't know. Maybe we can ask her to do something. A
Live
scale model.
Live
painting of a
3D.
plot.
May exhibit. Why not?
Yeah. But yeah, and we aren't sharing that particular thing that
So is this a
that's
question
just
for
for
Carla?
That's for the internal file.
Question for Carl.
Oh, do the people on the
Maybe
cover
it's a question
represent a
for Carla.
specific pairing? Oh,
Don't
I
look at
thought
me.
I
I
thought
didn't
it,
choose that picture. Okay.
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
not
the
my
cover
choice.
the cover was put together by Tanya Arpa and with art by Carla de Guzman and photography by Chiyu Rodriguez. Um, so and then our cover models are Jeff Lawrence again
As usual.
and Jan San Juan. Um, so I don't know. I thought it could fit someone in that pairing, but was it was more of what we had that could be part of that could be a cover. So it's not necessarily
A specific.
representing a specific pairing, but I think it fits one story very well.
Which one?
May ganun ba siya, Agor?
I think. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, if magka-print copy, yeah, if magka-print copy, we will see if Arky can make something for for the print copy.
For the floor plan.
Yeah, but for now it was just for us, so we don't get lost. How did we choose the beautiful cover people? Uh, she's not in the screen, but it was Tanya who. She's not in the screen right now, but it was Tanya who chose the photo. Uh, we can have her explain herself, maybe. But
Explain herself.
Explain yourself.
but
Do I
thank
have to
you. It
explain
was nice.
myself?
Yeah, the voice.
Oh, a
of
voice.
The
Tanya.
voice of God.
The voice of
I have been waiting to do this, to be the disembodied voice in a live stream.
Big
I tried
Brother.
kanina, but mali yung settings ko.
Oh, it's like
Anyway,
God.
I just asked, like, are there any available photos in the catalog for romance class covers? And then she gave me like a sample from each, and I like picked two and said, can I take a look at the photos from these? And I just basically picked one. I wanted a couple that was, like, dressed medio casual, because a lot of the stories happened in a condo. So I wanted it to be cute but also kind of sexy, because there were gonna be some heat level 3. Yeah, and then I thought, maybe a nice illustrated background would be nice. So we asked Carla if she would be nice enough to to give us an illustration, and then there was a special request for a cat.
Yeah.
Cat. My
It's an
Special
amazing cat.
I think
It's
love
Tanya's
amazing.
email was specifically like cat with judgy eyes.
So a normal cat then.
Yes, pretty
Yes.
much just a
Any
cat.
cat.
Yan. So yeah. Carry on.
Thank you,
That was
Thank you,
Tanya.
all.
God.
For...
God is a woman. Confirmed.
Oh, siya palang responsible sa head grab photo.
Bakit?
Bakit?
Cat
I
same.
know.
I'm also
Bakit
asking the
walang
same
ganitong
question.
pangyayari sa condo namin?
Unang-una, walang Kuya Vico here.
Aw,
So it's sad. Also, an Adjumart wala din.
yeah.
We're living in the wrong condo.
Everyone needs an Edgemart.
If
Yes.
you look at it, once you read several stories, you'll see that the staff of the building are canon. They're the same people. They're the same people. So there are guards. There's a gym instructor. There's
There's
the
a
owner of
Reception.
Adjumart.
I just want to add that for the school of my daughter, they actually put the teachers, most of them in one condo. Like
Really?
yeah, so
Tis
So this
canon,
makes
I
sense.
see.
Oh.
yeah, because the teachers were expats. So yun. So they usually have like most of them, they find their house in one condo unit, and they have a small
Hmm.
one. So it's ano na, it's canon.
It's totally authentic and
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Thank you for confirming.
And
Thank you for validating.
Yes.
For the
when you
validation.
were writing it.
Appreciate it.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if you again, when I was reading it and I was noticing the common international school that several of the characters seem to be working at, yes, I found it to be an interesting school and with interesting employees.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to explore more of that setting, I think, um, in the future. Yeah, so last chance to post your questions here while we have the authors. So, did you were you, we had like several weeks to write.
Bridge. Oh my God, Bridge.
What did she say?
Hi, Bridge. I miss, I miss you.
Okay, I had a question. Sorry,
Sorry, sorry.
but we
Sorry.
have a
Kasi
comment
si
from
Bridge
Bridge.
kasi.
Hello, Bridge. Welcome to this side of
I'm
the comment
sorry.
section. Please post your comments here so we can we can answer them. um, so my question for the authors is we only had a few weeks to come up with everything, to conceptualize our story, write it, and then have other people look at it and edit. Did you so what was it like? Did did you have enough time? Did you need more time? Was there something you would have was there something you would have done if you had more time?
I think we only had like a month and a half, no? Parang ganon. Tama ba?
Yeah,
Like,
about.
yeah, yeah. Like we did the ruleta before Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
then
we had
that,
Christmas, but we also didn't have Christmas because that's not. Who would you? I don't know if anybody. I think Mina wrote
Thinking
over the Christmas
thinking
holidays.
about it is right.
Yes, thank you.
yeah,
Pinterest boards.
It counts. It counts.
Research.
So I swapped with Ines because I read hers and then she read mine and then she was also editing mine. And since we didn't have enough time, her comments were more lenient. So she was like, I know we didn't have time. So this is I think you can make this stronger, but you don't have time. So it's okay. So I think it helped because I don't because teacher Ines didn't give me too harsh editorial comments. So it worked out for me.
Walang
Nasa
oras
ka
si
na agad ni
editor.
Walang,
ako I was unemployed in January, so I had the time. I think I started January 9th, something like that. And then I finished a, a week and a half before the deadline. So yun, medyo nagpapanik na ako noon kasi parang, I don't think I can finish this, ganyan. Kasi parang may weeks ako na hindi ako nagsusulat. Pero there's an existing thing already. Tapos yun nga, my story is 13K words. So parang, please shut up! Already, gano'n. Tapos yun, finish ko na lang siya na hindi pa ako masyadong sure. But I sent it to KB and Dale. Tapos in fairness naman sa kanila, like, they gave it back to me like after 2 nights or something. So, sobrang bilis naman nung turnaround. Tapos yun, that's the great thing about having, a better reader. At least yun, na-point out na yung what I wasn't sure of at that time. Tapos yun, natapos ko siya. Yay!
special
Happy
thanks to
ending.
KB for accommodating us.
Oo nga.
It's not just you and me. I think also Anna. I think she also read Anna's. She read a few. So thank you, KB, for helping out.
I had to I had Veron in China edit my work. But I saw kasi who was helping you. So I was like, okay, who do I bother?
Yun nga,
Who can I
Last
follow? Who's
time.
not busy right now?
to not overwhelm the editors.
Yeah, I don't want to overwhelm everyone. So I sent her an email right away. Parang, can you?
Bubok na kita
Fetch
ngayon na.
mode.
Yes. Parang no one has
Reserved.
mentioned you yet. Can you read me right away? And then I had her I gave her access to the spreadsheet. So she could check everything as she edited. And then she ended up being excited about everyone else's story. So that was fun. Mhm.
Ako yata ang pinaka-buzzer beater sa lahat ng ito. Kasi parang, as of Monday, before that weekend of the fun line, I was like, I don't think I can do this because I was just halfway done. And that's just 5,000 words, diba? At least 5,000 words. I was just watching my 5,000 words. So,
Same.
sabi ko, I didn't wanna broadcast na I'm throwing in the towel or anything. Kasi who knows, I might still push myself. Which was what happened because it was that weekend na talagang, oh shit, kaya ko pala to. So, the I guess 75% of it I wrote on 2 days. And then I bothered Carla. Sabi ko, Carla, are you doing anything? Magla-lunch lang ako. Carla, inaantok na ako. Hindi na ako makadila.
Sinabi ako na, kakain.
Antok na ako.
Tapos sabi niya, girl, ano oras ko na dito? Okay, sige. I think it was like the night before the deadline or the day
It's the evening of the deadline, and I was seeing people post their on the spreadsheet na ay nagsubmit na si ganyan, nagsubmit na si ganito. Tapos parang ako, lalagay ko na ba yung pangalan ko? Hindi. Kaya may ginagawa ka. And then she was saying, ay parang mas maganda kung ganito. And I'm like, sige, try natin. And I was in front of the computer, I was like, tayo ko na.
Well,
So yon.
what I can mention to siguro when just to remind everyone who participated that of course when the deadline was for the bundle so that we can release it, when we unpublish it and it goes back to you, you can make your changes. You can make them not shut up. You can
They can
you
have
can let-
sex.
For the permission.
Without
Make
You
them
can let
explore the
them-
roof garden.
Yeah.
you can let them do the things that we didn't have time to do. But I did the minimum, but I ended up sort of because when you come up with a new thing, it's sayang if you don't use it. I don't know. I ended up thinking of that, so I ended up thinking, I could actually expand this. Maybe not with the same people, but with the thing that I had started. So it's it's like a warm up to the next thing. So anyway, just a reminder to the authors who participated and those who are still writing their tropes that we can't wait to read. Yes. Okay. Unless we have so
know it.
unless we
Welcome,
have any
Bridge.
other questions, we will wrap up now. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Our pre-order page is up at kilig.pub/tropetastic. I'll post an update on the sales later. It's so heartwarming seeing the totals go up because if you're not familiar with the Gumroad page, it's set to pay what you want. So there's a minimum $5 to receive it, but people have been giving a lot more than the minimum 5. So that's been such a wonderful thing to see. and we're still going to be available until April 14th, so it's not even done yet. We will keep collecting and donating what what you give us, and I hope that you enjoy the story. So, authors, thank you for being here.
Yay.
Congratulations, everyone, and congratulations to all the authors who are part of the anthology, and to the authors who are still finishing. Please continue. Definitely subscribe to our newsletter at romancepodcast.com/kiligcast, and uh, subscribe to us, to our YouTube channel here on Twitch. Hi, Bridge. And also on Facebook, Romance Class Books. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Happy Valentine's
Thank
Day.
you.
Thank
Happy
you.
Valentine's.
Happy
Happy
Valentine's.
Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's.